What's up? Hey guys, it's Ivan. In this video, I want to give you my code for a drop-down menu for ClickFunnels, all right? So a drop-down menu, navigation menu, is not something that's available within the ClickFunnels editor. It's not something you could just click on, say yes, drop-down navigation, done. It is something you do need to use a little bit of code for. So in this video, what I'm going to do is in the comment section, I will just give you the entire code. All you have to do is copy, paste that code onto your custom JavaScript spot here. You'll literally just take the code and just copy it there as it is, and you'll have everything ready. Okay, so it will look something like this. Okay, so there is a little drop down. I will tell you what the things are that you can change. So I'll tell you how you can change it, so you can add more options. You can remove the options if you only have 3 options, right? You want to say about us, home, and blog page. I'll show you how to do that, and how to change, how to reduce or remove this circular border radius, stuff like that. Okay, so stay tuned, because you do want to know how to change it if you have no idea about anything regarding code at all. Yeah, and then so this one, when you click on it, as you can see, it can either take you to a particular section of the page, or it can take you to a different website. So I think if I click this one, it takes me to a different site. Okay, so let me show you now what you can change and how you can make it your own. But literally all you do is you copy paste this code into your custom JavaScript spot, and it'll be there. Okay, so let me show you now. So let's start off at the very bottom here. So here, everything over here where it says div ID container, all that stuff, that will be kind of what it says. Okay, so over here it says headline, it says option 1, it says option 8. That is what you would change here. And where you would take the page to when the user clicks on it, this is also what you would change here. So as you can see here, in this green spot here, right, with this number sign, that is where you would input the command that you wanted to execute when people click on it. So if I want people to scroll to a particular page of particular part of my page when they click on it, what I would do is I would write here scroll dash, right, and then what's the name of the section I want them to scroll to. So let's say section 3, that's the name of the section. And then what you would do is you would go to your section that you want to be scrolled down to. For example, this one, click on get CSS info at the bottom and change it. Okay, well, this one's I already named it section 2, so let's name something else over here, right? So then what you would do is you would name it. Now the name has to be exactly the same, including capital letters. So you can't have a section written here with a capital S and then a lowercase s in section. When you actually write the code in there, it will not work. So you need to make sure it's 100% the same. So let's say this one is section 3, okay? And then you need to click update. So now it should scroll me down to this part when I click on whatever we just changed. Let me see which one we did. Section 3. Okay, so that was option 2. Okay, so when I click on option 2 now, let me just refresh this one. It should take me there. Okay, so it doesn't take me all the way because there's no space, but it would take you up to this mark. Okay, so that's basically what you would do. Okay, that's the idea. You would just change the part here. If you want to take it to a website, remember you must put in HTTPS or HTTP, double dot, / www, etc. And then put your, or whatever your website is, but make sure you have this HTTPS there. So instead of writing $ scroll, just replace that with this. Okay, and that's it. Okay, that's what you would do, depending on where you want people to click on when they click on that option. So then over here is where you would change the title. So for example, here it says headline, right? If I change it to monkeys, right? So remember, that was headline, okay? So now over here, let's scroll up. See, it says headline. Let me refresh. Now it's gonna say monkeys, okay? So that's what you would do for your own navigation menu bar. You would just change it around here, okay? So right there, what's in gray is what you would change for to have the different name, okay? Now over here, as you can see, this is inside, okay? So as you can see, every single one of these, it ends with this little /li tag, okay? It ends with that. Over here, notice it doesn't, because this is where the submenu comes in. This is where this part comes in, right? It's within that, okay? So if you want to add something like that as well, like all you do is you copy this, for example, you copy this part, and then you would, for example, just paste it there. Okay, that's it. That's what you would do, okay? So just kind of follow this template for how to do it, okay? So again, everything that see here, it doesn't have that li, so this is because it's part of that, right? This is a part of this option 1, right? That's why, so it's right underneath there. So if you want to add more options, like just copy this and paste it. That's it, right? So as you can see here, I have 5. Now I'm gonna have 6. Okay. You can also remove it by just deleting it. All right, simple as that. So I'm just gonna delete that. I'm not gonna show you because we know what it's gonna look like. Okay, let's not waste time there. But basically, it'll just be 5 because you deleted it. Okay, so that's about it for that. Pretty simple. Just literally copy. If you want more, copy it and paste it. If you don't want it, delete it. If you want to add something like as a drop down, just write it within that within that option. Okay, so copy this part and just paste it again within, right, like right within that that little section if you want to add a drop down menu to that. Okay, so in regards to the actual styling, so this arrow don't change. Everything else you can pretty much change, but here's the rule of thumb. If you don't understand what it means, don't change it, okay? So for example, if you don't know any coding at all, now I'm not a professional myself, but you know, if you're just starting off, you probably won't know what this display inline block means. You probably won't know that, so don't change it. You probably won't know what display block means, right? Don't change it. Or this, right? Overflow unset. You probably won't know what that means, so don't change it. You know, I could get into a whole lesson on what each of those mean, but I'll just spare you and I'll just tell you the important things that matter that you can change, okay, for yourself. So text align, this is obvious, so you can make it center, left, or right. So if I make this left, for example, right, text align, you know what text align means. It means, right, centering left to right, so you can change it. So there I said left, so now this should be on the left side, okay? As you can see, it's no longer centered, and it doesn't have 6 because remember, we deleted that option before, right? Okay, so that's your text align. You know, this is just some basic margin, basic padding. Don't worry about that. Just leave that as is. List style type, leave that out as well. Leave it at none. That basically removes the dot from it. Like basically, when you first create this, you're going to have a little dot on the side, right? Because it's like it's a list. When you first create this without styling, it's going to be a list. So to remove that little dot to signify that it's a list, you just put none here. So just leave that as is. Leave that as is. Yeah, I should probably, let me just, what I'm going to do is I'll probably just move that up here actually. Yeah. Okay, so just don't change that. Okay, so for this part, so this one, this will be the background color of your existing, like not over hovering, but just the option as you see it without hovering over it. Okay, so if you change this to red, then this background will become red without me having to hover, or green. It's going to be green. Okay, that's the border. So as you can see, I have a little border here. It's green. Change it as you want. The width, that's literally the width of this. So this is now 130. If I make it you know, 200, then every option will be bigger, right? It will be wider. Same thing with height, right? Straightforward. Make sure your line height is the same as the height. That way this text will be centered, okay? So when you change height, make sure to change line height. I mean, if you want your text to be centered. Float left, leave that as is. Don't change that. Text align center, that's to center the actual text. You can also make this text within this little box on the left side or right side by saying left or right. Margin 2 pixels, that is the difference between these guys. So you see there, that's the difference. So if you want to make it bigger or decrease the distance, just change that from 2 pixels to whatever you want to, right? So if you make it 5, for example, again, some of the things I'll just show you just to make things consistent. The distance between all of these options should now be a bit wider. So as you can see there, it increased by a bit, okay? So up to you what you want to do. Let's go through the next step. Border radius 25, okay? So that is what makes this circular. If you just want, you know, rectangles, just make it 0, okay? So if you make this 0, well, if you make it 0, it will look like rectangles. It will not be rounded anymore, okay? So I'm just gonna save time there. So this is the actual text of the actual color of the text. So this refers to the actual text inside of it. So as you can see here, it is black. There is no text decoration. Normally there's a little line, like a underline under it. So if you remove this, there's going to be an underline. So don't do it. Leave it. Text decoration none. Display block, leave that as is as well. So basically for here, you can just change the color of that text, okay, within it. So right now it's black. It says black. You make it white. It's going to be white. Red. It's going to be red, etc., etc. Now this is actually over hovering effect. This is over the hovering for this particular option. So background color is red. So as you can see, when I hover over it, it becomes red. As you can see, when I hover over it, the color of the text becomes white. See, it's white. So that's what you would change as well. So if you want to change the color over hovering it, right there, it tells you right there. Okay, so change that. Border radius. What happens is, so this you would need to change in addition to what you change here. Reason for that is, if this is different than this, then when you hover over it, the color of that background will be depending on that border radius that you set for here. So for example, if I make this 0 pixels and I make this 25, then when I hover over this, it will hover as a rectangle, right? So it's not going to look good. Okay, so make sure these are consistent when you have them. So if this is 0, make sure this is 0. Leave that as is. Let me actually just move that up there as well. That is important because you don't want your sub menu to show without people hovering over it, right? So let me just actually move that there. And let me see. So this one also, so this is referring to the actual submenus here. So what you can do if you want to is if I, for example, make this 10 pixels, it's going to be a bit too much, but I'll just show you for illustration purposes. The distance between kind of, right, well, let me just show you what it'll look like. So now when you hover over it, as you can see, there's 10 pixels, there's distance there, right? So that's basically it. Like that's a drop-down menu, right? I had some questions, some people asking me, hey, how do you do a drop-down? This is how. I'll give you the code. You just make these changes, play around with it, and make it your own, but it is possible, okay? So that's about it. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down below. On this channel, we cover a ton of different online marketing tools such as ClickFunnels, ClickMagic, GetResponse, like online marketing necessities, or reviews and how-to videos and tips, tricks, etc., etc. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.